The greatest adventure is what lies ahead. Today and tomorrow are yet to be said.
Hello everyone, this is No One of Consequence, back again with a new video. This is the 19th episode in a series which recounts my ongoing Dungeons & Dragons campaign, which is now its 9th year. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to hit the like button. As always, spoiler alert, in this video I will be revealing details found in this adventure module. So when we left off last time, this was the current status of the characters. I didn't have it in my notes, but last time they knew the Sergeant Major was dead, but they weren't sure where his body was, and in my notes and screenshots, his body was suddenly recovered, and I'm not sure how or where they found him, but they did. And then, as a reminder, their horse wranglers, Quan and Jasmine, they knew had been captured and had been turned over to the Earth Temple for sacrifice, and so now their goal was to try to rescue them. So you remember last time the characters had defeated the Water Temple and then took prisoner the Water Temple's head priest. And he, when he heard that they were planning to attack the Earth Temple, he offered to help them because he hates the Earth Temple. And so he said that he would help them defeat the Earth Temple in exchange for his freedom. And the characters decided to accept the offer, mainly because their magic user Thorol was dead and they had no way to bring him back right now. So they figured they could use the extra help. So after resting and healing and regaining spells, the characters set out for the Earth Temple. And you can see there's the Sergeant Major's body there behind Varys. And Thorol's body is there as well in the screenshot. They had decided to bring along the bodies of their dead friends because they didn't know if they would have a chance to get them afterwards. So the characters were getting close to the Earth Temple, and Obrak was up front, and all of a sudden he stopped because he could detect a now familiar smell. So he signaled the other characters to back up with their torches, and he uses infravision to peek around the corner, and he could see an ogre sleeping at the bottom of a short flight of stairs. And so they huddled up and decided they would try to quietly take out the ogre and hopefully avoid alerting any nearby Earth Temple guards. So they sent Garrett in, and he was going to try to basically assassinate the sleeping ogre, but unfortunately he failed his stealth roll, and the ogre began to wake up. So Garrett quickly fell back, and Obrak and Elmo ran in there and made some good attack rolls and managed to take out the ogre in one round. So they got lucky there. And then there was also a door just behind Garrett there to the south, and they figured they better check out that door as well so that they wouldn't leave any unexplored areas behind them. So they opened that door, and there were a couple of bugbears sitting at a table, apparently off-duty guards for the Earth Temple. So they all rushed in and managed to take them out in a couple of rounds, but they did receive a little damage themselves. And then after that battle was over, the characters all gathered up in that room, and they decided that they would leave the bodies of their fallen comrades here while they made their attack on the Earth Temple. So continuing on, as they approached the entrance to the Earth Temple, there was a bugbear standing guard there in the hallway, as you can see. and so they charged him and attacked, and Elmo scored a critical hit. And you can see there in the chat window it says Varus, and the only reason for that is because I was having the player who controls Varus also control Elmo, and so it was actually Elmo that rolled that natural 20 and scored a critical hit on the bugbear. Unfortunately, when the bugbear was still alive, and when it got to make return attacks, he rolled a 20 as well, and his attack was directed against Aramis, and you can see the result there, face smash. And you may remember way back when the characters first started coming to the temple, Aramis had received a critical hit to his face, and it was heavily damaged, but so far he had not paid, any temple to have his face healed, and so he was still walking around with that critical hit to his face, and now he's taken another critical hit to the face, and so he was looking really bad at this point. So they finally managed to defeat that bugbear, and the characters then all lined up and prepared to charge into the Earth Temple proper. And it was at this point that the Water Temple priest revealed his plan for neutralizing the Earth Elementals. You may remember that was one of his bargaining chips last time, was that he had been studying the problem with the Earth Elementals and figured he had a plan to deal with them, because the elemental temples all have rivalries with each other, and this is not the first time that the Water Temple had attacked the Earth Temple. But anyway, he told the characters what his plan was that instead of just killing all the Earth Temple guards, they should try to subdue some of them, and then they could use them to make blood offerings to the Earth Elementals, and then that should temporarily placate them, which would allow the characters to finish off anyone else who was still in this place and then make their escape. So the characters agreed to that plan. So what they could see standing there at the entrance, they could see Jasmine and Quan chained at the top of the pyramid in the center of the room, just like other characters had been before. And the only reason they hadn't been sacrificed yet was the head Earth Elemental priest was hoping to capture a couple of more prisoners, so then he would have the full 4 that he needed to conduct his ceremony. So anyway, Garrett and Nio rushed to the central pyramid, and Garrett began working on the locks on their shackles to free them. And meanwhile, Obrak and Elmo ran straight south because they had seen there was a door down there on the south edge of the room and a bugbear guarding it. And so they ran up to him. They were planning to try to subdue him so he could be used as a sacrifice as per the Water Temple's plan. But as you can see, Elmo, rolled by Varus, scored a critical hit and then rolled max damage. And the result is they ended up killing the bugbear, the bugbear, instead of just subduing it. Meanwhile, because of all the activity in the room, it activated the Earth Elementals, and you can see the one there has come to the surface of the dirt floor. So by now, Garrett had managed to pick the locks on the shackles that were restraining Jasmine and Quan, and all 4 of the Earth Elementals had gathered at the base of the pyramid because they were expecting a sacrifice. And then, meanwhile, Elmo and Obrak, they had seen another bugbear guarding another door down in the lower right-hand corner of the temple room. And so they ran over to that bugbear, and this time they did manage to subdue it instead of killing it outright. And then back over on the left-hand side, Aramis finally arrived. He had heavier armor, so he was moving slower. But he arrived down there at that southwest door, there on the bottom left, and all of the commotion had made noise, and the door on the right-hand side opened up, and the characters, well, Obrak and Elmo, saw Earth Temple human guards in service of the Earth Temple in that room. And then there on the central pyramid, by now, Jasmine and Quan had been freed from their shackles, but they and Garrett and Nio, for at least for the time being, they were all basically trapped there on the top of the pyramid because of the Earth elementals had gathered around. So by now, Varys and the Water Temple priest had run up there to that area there on the lower left-hand corner, and as they approached, Aramis kicked open the door to that room and found himself standing face to face with the Elemental Earth's head priest. And then on the other side, Elmo stayed back to fight these human Earth Temple guards while Obrak began dragging the subdued bugbear to the base of the pyramid. And you can see Garrett had moved up there to help him. Meanwhile, a couple of more human guards approached from the north there in the upper right-hand side, and Nio moved over to engage them. But you can see there on the screenshot, she rolled a 1, and you can see the result of her fumble. So basically, she tripped on the pyramid and was out of the action for the time being. Meanwhile, Garrett and Obrak had that subdued bugbear at the top of the pyramid, and were preparing him for sacrifice as per the Water Temple priest's plan. So back over there on the where the Earth Temple priest was, the characters had won initiative in this round, and both the Water Temple priest and the Earth Temple priest had started to cast, but because the characters won initiative, the Water Temple priest got to go first, and he cast a hold person spell, and he actually managed to paralyze the Earth Temple priest. And then on the other side, Elmo was fighting those guards, and even though they still had their plan to try to subdue some of these people, once again, Elmo wrote a critical hit, and you can see the result there, and outright killed that guy instead of subduing him. So with the Earth Temple priest paralyzed, Aramis and the Water Temple priest began dragging him towards the central pyramid. And meanwhile, up on the pyramid, Niobe and Obrak engaged those two Earth Temple soldiers there on the right-hand side. And Garrett got about the unpleasant business of sacrificing that bugbear so that he could use the blood and make at least one of the Earth Elementals go away. Elmo moved into that room where those guards were and rolled yet another critical hit and killed yet another one of the guards. And lucky for him, the last remaining Earth Temple guard, that guy with the crossbow, ended up surrendering. So Garrett used the blood from that bugbear sacrifice and got the Earth Elemental in the lower right-hand side to depart the pyramid and burrow back into the ground. And by now, Aramis and the Water Temple priest got to the base of the pyramid with the paralyzed Earth Temple priest. And then meanwhile, that other guard, Earth Temple guard, who Obrak and Niobe had been fighting, he broke morale and ran away. You can see him there on the upper right-hand corner of the screenshot. So, with the Earth Temple priest now in position, the Water Temple priest personally sacrificed him, laughing maniacally while doing it because he hated the Earth Temple priest so much. And then he used the blood to placate the Earth Elemental, who is located there on the upper left-hand corner of the pyramid, because that's the route that the characters would want to use to make their escape. And then that crossbowman that had surrendered to Elmo a moment ago, Elmo and Varys brought him to the pyramid as well. And unfortunately for him, even though he had surrendered, the Water Temple priest quickly sacrificed him and then used the blood to make the Earth Elemental on the upper right-hand corner of the pyramid go away. And while that was going on, the characters began making a run for it to get out of the Earth Temple area here. And there on the upper left-hand corner, you can see Niobe, and you can see a semi-transparent image of an Earth Elemental. That's just the one that had been there and had received his sacrifice, so he burrowed back into the ground and was out of the picture for now. So even though you can see his image, he's not actually there to impede the characters as they move through. So with everyone now safely out of the Earth Temple, the Water Temple priest was given his freedom in exchange for his help, as the characters had promised the day before. And then the party began their long walk back to Hamlet, and it took longer than usual because they were carrying with them the bodies of Thorol and the Sergeant Major and the priest Calmert. So when the characters got back to Hamlet, the first thing they did was take Calmert back to the Church of St. Cuthbert, and then they helped the abbot Turgeon bury him there in the churchyard. And then back at the end, the problem the characters had, so Thorol and the Sergeant Major were both dead, but they only had enough money to have one character raised. And at this point in the campaign, the player who normally controls the Sergeant Major had to drop out of the campaign because he had stuff going on in real life. And so he had announced that he was going to have to temporarily leave the campaign. And so one of the other players was controlling the Sergeant Major. But since they only had enough money to have one character raised, they decided to bury the Sergeant Major, and they would pay to have Thorol raised. But they knew that, the Sergeant Major had made it clear that he did not like the Church of St. Cuthbert, and they were sure that he would not want to be buried there in the churchyard. So they got permission from the innkeeper to bury the Sergeant Major in front of the inn, and they put him in the spot where his outdoor pulpit had been previously located, because he had been banned from preaching in the common room of the inn. So the next day, the characters headed to Verbabank so they could pay to have Thorol resurrected, and you remember they had lost all their horses, and so they had to rent a wagon and a team of horses there in the village to get to Vermabonk, and it took a couple of days to get there. But while they were there, having Thorol resurrected, Aramis finally decided to pay to have the temple at St. Cuthbert heal and reconstruct his face. And you may remember many episodes back, this was the illustration we used to joke that what Aramis looked like after he had taken that first critical hit to his face. And now it was even worse with the second critical hit to the face that he had taken. So after he paid the priest at the Temple of St. Cuthbert to heal and reconstruct his face, then we made the joke that this is what he looked like coming out of the temple with his newly reconstructed face. So anyway, that was we all got a laugh out of that. That's what Thorol looked like coming out of the temple. And then Varys, now that he was in the big city, he decided to replenish his stash of his elf root that he smoked. And he also wanted to get some more spells, so he made a deal to buy a black market second level spell scroll, and that's what's going on here. Varys is in a back alley making deals, buying black market items, while Garrett was watching out for the city guard there at the bottom of the screenshot. All right, well, that's all I have for now. Again, if you enjoyed the video, please consider hitting the like button. And if you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. And also, feel free to leave a comment. Comments are good, and share the video anywhere you think others might enjoy it. Anything you can do, I appreciate it. Thanks again. Bye for now.
The greatest adventure is what lies